my patient has already been pre-medicated. I know who they are because I was in here 30 minutes ago to get them some Tylenol. I will gel on the way in just to make sure my hands are clean, and I'll go ahead and knock. Hey, Mrs. Jones, it's your nurse, Carmiel. I'm back, and we're going to go ahead and address that wound. I came in 30 minutes earlier, and I gave you that Tylenol. I hope it's set in so far just to make things a bit more comfortable, but nothing should be too uncomfortable while we do this. Let me know how you're doing as we go along, okay? So I hope this is a good time for it. It's okay? Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and lift the bed to working height, and then could I have you say your name and date of birth, please? Perfect. Alrighty. Mrs. Jones, I'm going to go ahead and get my equipment and get started here. I'll go ahead and wipe down the table really quickly. And this is going to be nice and clean. And I'll be right back with my equipment, okay? So I'm going to gel as I leave the room to grab my stuff. Knock, knock. Okay, Mrs. Jones, I'm back. We're going to go ahead and get some more privacy. And we'll get started. So I'm gonna gel because I couldn't because I was entering the room. And I'm gonna go ahead and just get some clean gloves on, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that wound, okay? Alright. Have you had a busy day today? No, you've been nice and relaxed? Oh, I'm glad to hear that, if that's what you've been wanting, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, we're gonna observe the room, and I'm gonna go the wound, and I'm gonna go ahead and just bring this down so I can take a look. Like I said, it'll be nice and gentle. I hope that it hasn't been hurting, and or the Tylenol that we got earlier, I hope has helped and is going to help with what we're gonna do here. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna gently peel back the tape while keeping the skin down. And then I'll discard this because it's nice and clean. I'll take off the ABD. Nothing there, so not too much fluid. I can discard that in the waste bin. And we'll take a look at these. Also, nothing there. Wow, that's really good, Ms. Jones. I'm glad to see it. Did you want to see your wound? No, you didn't? All right. Well, that's okay then. And then I'll take a look at the wound, and I will remove the packing gauze. Taking a look at it, and it is serosanguineous. So there's some pink fluid there, but that's to be expected. All right, and I will go ahead and dispose of this in the biohazard bin. All right, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at your wound really quickly and see how it's doing, see how it's healing. You want to know the dimensions of it and how quickly it's healing? Not interested either? That's okay. All right, so just give me a second. It'll be nice and gentle as we're moving around there, okay? All right. All right. Got dimensions there. Good. And then I'm going to go inside very gently and just get the depth, okay? Let me know if everything's going all right here. Everything's okay? All right, nice and quick. Perfect. All right. All right, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to document that really quickly just so I can jot a note for myself. I will take these off. I'm going to be using these gloves again, but probably not. And then I'll just write down really quickly on my brain, 13 for the length, 3.5 for the width, and 3 for the depth. And then I'm going to get another pair of gloves, which would be inside the room. Alright, still inside the room, and I'm going to go ahead and get my sterile field set up. Alright, doing okay there, Mrs. Jones? Not getting too cold at all? Alright, glad to hear that. So I'll go ahead and don't need this anymore. I'll get my tape ripped. So I saw some people coming out of the room earlier. Were those your visitors? Oh, your family, lovely. Do they live close by? Oh, you guys are all in the same neighborhood. Wonderful. How long have you been living there? Wow, that's a long time. That's pretty lucky that your visitors, or you said your kids, were able to be in that same area, find a house there. That's lovely. I'm glad to hear that. All right. And how long have you been in this area in general? Oh, you were born here. Wow, Mrs. Jones. You must have been one of the people living here one of the longest times ever. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. That's my gauze. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. As well as open this up. This is my packing gauze. And then we'll go ahead and open this up as well. then I'm gonna go ahead and get my sterile gloves on. So, Mrs. Jones, we're gonna get started. Bear with me. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna go ahead and establish my sterile field. Being careful to only touch the outer inch of the paper. And not go over anything. That's not going to work. We'll figure that out in a second. Alright. So I'm going to pinch. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my equipment set up. So, the sand is sterile. I will take the gauze out and I'll use that as a basis, as well as remove the packing gauze. Very carefully, don't need this anymore, so I'll dispose of that. With my clean hand, I'm going to come around, pour my solution in, and I will have checked the date and the time because it'll expire within 48 hours. And then I'll go ahead and get my packing gauze. I only need one piece because I'll pull one piece out. Soap. And then still on the inside, good. And then I'll go ahead and get this out as well, also in the sterile field. And then I will scoop the other hand.
So you can watch it back? Yeah. Okay.
Sterile can touch sterile. Careful not to touch my hand.
So I opened up the
Alright. Don't touch me, I'm sterile. So, we're ready to go ahead and address that wound now, Mrs. Jones. So this is nice and wet. I'm going to go ahead and drain it. And then I'm going to go ahead and fluff it up. Because it's fluff gauze. Alright, Mrs. Jones, we're going to go ahead and begin packing that wound. This is going to be a tender part, so let me know how we're doing. Do you like to sing at all? What's a good song that you enjoy? How about Country Road? Do you know that one? Alright, let's sing it together. It'll be quick, okay? Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shannon by the river. And I'm being careful to place the gauze inside of the wound and have it not touch any intact skin. Alright, keep singing, Mrs. Jones. Country road, take me home. And there we go. Alright, Mrs. Jones, we're all set there. We're going to go ahead and get this gauze over top of it. We got one pad and two pads. And then we'll go ahead and get the abdominal pad over the top of that with the blue line out. Perfect. Okay, Mrs. Jones, we're almost done here. So then I will don clean gloves that are in the room. These are in the room. I'll do hand hygiene.
That didn't happen.
Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and prep the tape spots to prevent adhesion. So we'll do 2 pieces of tape. Boop and boop. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tape down the wound. Longer piece of tape, but her abdomen would not be as distended as it is because there's extra surface there. I'm gonna go ahead and date it. So it is the 18th. Nice and gently. 10, 18, 23. The time is 13, 23 with my initials KW. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and tuck you back in, Mrs. Jones, okay? We are almost through here. Is that okay for you? Good, I'm glad to hear. Alrighty. Here's your call light. If you need anything, I'm gonna go ahead and get your bed lowered down. And then is there anything I can get for you before I head out today? You're all good? I'm glad to hear, Mrs. Jones. Things have been going good for you recently. Everything's healing up nicely. I'll go ahead and get my equipment. This is not expired yet, so I'll go ahead and recap that, and that'll be okay. And put all this in the garbage. Take my gloves off. Form hand hygiene. Remove privacy and document her wounds that I had written down on a piece of paper.